AFTV, Mo, I don't even know what to say no more, man. I'm coming on to these interviews week after week after week, defeat after defeat. I mean, today's defeat was probably probably the worst one of all. Because Burnley, they've only had one win all season. They're in the bottom three.
I don't know why you're complaining, mate. What happened? What did Arteta say after the last game?
Remind me.
We put in a lot of crosses and we dominated. That was true today. What are you complaining about?
It's obvious what I'm complaining about. We haven't won the game. There's no ball at play. It just looks shocking. I mean, I've been asking this question to literally everybody tonight. I'm going to ask it straight away to you. Should Mikel Arteta be sacked? Yes or no?
Robbie, I've already answered this question because I said it a week ago about the number of games that we have left till Christmas and setting him a points target. The points target that I kind of came up with was, let's say 9 or 10 points. He's on 0 so far. But I also said, when I said that about the points target, that if he got sacked that very evening, I would say, do you know what? Completely understandable. I've got no problem with the sacking. That feeling of mine is clearly going to be even stronger today. So if he gets sacked this evening, or if I wake up tomorrow morning and he's been sacked, my reaction will be, fair enough, get on with my day. Okay? He deserves to be sacked because Arsenal's position in the league and our performances, our squad harmony, our lack of discipline, our lack of creativity, our decision-making, our inconsistency in the way we treat players. Some get exiled, some get super glued to the starting 11. All of these reasons lead me to the conclusion that it's justifiable for him to get sacked. But because I'm not the sort of guy that just wants to sack someone because I don't think that's the way a club should be run, I would give him until the January transfer window. Because people that would say, no, he needs to go now, I'd just argue, well, what have we got to lose? What are we going to achieve this season? I think realistically,
what we got to lose is our status in the Premier League.
But I think that if we get a new manager in January, then our survival can be salvaged. But what I'm saying is that we're not going to get top 6. We're not going to qualify for Europe. We're certainly not going to get top 4. So in terms of all of them, the situation doesn't change if Arteta has 4 more games. But my point is, if he carries on like this and we stick with him, we might get relegated. So yes, a change does need to be made. But I'd say to him, I'd be going into his office again today and I'd saying, remember, I told you, 10 points. That's your target. You're on 0. 10 more points. Otherwise, you're gone. That's what I'd be saying to him. And, I think that's a completely fair way, a completely justifiable way of treating the guy, because this is a results business. The FA Cup win is now gone. Okay? We've had other managers, as I've said to you, that have won multiple FA Cups. And ultimately, when it got really, really bad, they had to go. Mikel Arteta, this is the worst in 40-odd years. It never, ever was this bad at this stage of the season under Arsene Wenger. Let's not forget that. It was never, ever this bad. And I personally think the way Arsene Wenger managed the club, and he was called the professor for a reason, or the way it's unraveling now, somehow for such a long period of time, he has still managed to keep the peace. He still generally had the players playing for him and taking the effort, doing kind of a bare minimum at the very least. And we've fallen well below that bare minimum. So clearly Arteta is not being able to manage it well enough. And for that reason, yes, he does need to go. But whether it's now or in 4 games, doesn't matter to me too much.
I mean, I don't even know what to say, because, can you see him getting 10 points? I don't even think you can get 10 points now, because between now and Christmas, we've got 3 games. You only get 9 points anyway.
I'm sure it's 4 games. Because
we got next game Southampton, following up Chelsea on Boxing Day, then we've got Brighton. So you only get 9 points anyway.
They're only 3.
Yeah, and then the West Brom game's just after Christmas.
Right, okay, fair enough. I can't But I'd have to go back and look at what I said in terms of that point target, and I'd stay consistent with that. So let's say, for example, that in the last 2 games, that's part of that calculation. And I'd be saying to him, listen, that's, you need, I think it's a very powerful message. If as a manager, you go into the dressing room and you say, boys, you're playing for me, this is what I need. I would lay my cards out on the table. I'd have a heart-to-heart with that team. And I'd say, this is what I need. If you want me to continue to be your manager, this is what I need. And then I would look at how much they fight for me. Yeah.
You think he's lost the dressing
room? I think he's, it's a difficult one, Robbie. I don't know how to explain this, but I think that he's lost the squad. I think he's lost like the happiness and the motivation, the spark, the spirit. I think he's lost that in the squad. Not so much the dressing room in that. I don't think they don't respect his ideas. I don't think it's a case of they don't respect what he's trying to do or whatever. I just think they're running on fumes a little bit. I don't think that he's managed the squad in the right way. I think he's exiled a lot of people, alienated a lot of people. It seems like he has clear favourites. If I was Nicolas Pepe today, I would be quite upset at how I was treated, the reaction that I had publicly after I did something stupid compared to Granit Xhaka. I think there's a lot of these things. If I was an ally of Mesut Ozil, if I was an ally of Socrates, if I was an ally of Guendouzi, I would feel quite aggrieved at the way I've been treated. And ultimately, I'd feel like the club is no longer a meritocracy. You saw Lacazette again today. He had chances. This was one game today. We've probably created as many chances in this single game as we have in all of the other games put together at Bar Fulham in the league this season. We created today, and our strikers were not at it. So, I just kind of feel like, well, where is, because we spoke about Nketiah Balogun, recently. Nketiah at that point we had that conversation, he had 135 minutes in the league. That's not enough. I'd be saying, look, he should start, not Lacazette. Again, look what Lacazette did. Again, look what Granit Xhaka did. And Arteta, I've said it so many times, he's going to get sacked based on his decisions. You can see it in my name today. Xhaka Laka is going to get you the Saka because, wake up, man. It's not, and he's not making the required changes.
And if he does get sacked, who would you bring in?
Allegri, Pochettino, Ten Hag, Hasenhüttl. There's 4 names for you.
So one of those 4 you bring in. If one of those were on the phone to you tomorrow, or there are people who are on the phone to you, you were the owner, and they said, you know what, we're up for it. Yeah, give us that. We're up for it. Would you press that button?
I would be lining them up already, Robbie, because I think it's a matter of time now. Let's be honest. I think it's a matter of time that Arteta is going to get sacked. But this is the one caveat I would say. Arteta, I think, has the makings of a good manager. But the point is, in all industries and all organizations across the world, certain people will join certain organizations and it just won't work out for them because of whatever factors. It doesn't mean that they can't go on and build a successful career elsewhere. Okay? That's happened on numerous occasions and it will always happen. It's the way of the world. If Arteta did get sacked, I would say, look, Mikel, thank you very much for the FA Cup. You did fairly well for the club as a player, and I don't doubt your efforts and that you've tried. Leave with your head held high. You've won a trophy and best of luck in your career. No hard feelings. I do think he's made awful decisions and I am really, really annoyed at him for that because I feel like it's sabotaged not only his own managerial career, but our season as well. But I'll say go for it. And I think he could succeed elsewhere. But those 4 names I mentioned, and you could even add Brendan Rodgers to that list. A lot of people have a very strong opinion about Brendan Rodgers, but I think the proof is in the pudding. He has been a consistently good manager for a long time now in the Premier League. It was all right saying, oh, it's only Celtic when it was in Scotland. But look how well he did at Celtic, and look at how Celtic are unravelling now as well. Brendan Rodgers, I think he's done enough in his managerial career to say, look, you know what, there is something about me. And he didn't work when he went to Liverpool, but just like I'm saying about Arteta, I still feel like there is redemption. He can go and have a successful career at a top club elsewhere. And he's already doing that at Leicester. And it's hard for Arsenal fans now to say Leicester aren't a top club because look at how they're performing. So, Robbie, I would be doing that. I'd be having those conversations already. I'd be putting the feelers out into the market and I'd be trying to understand who could line him up because ultimately now the position that I'm at is I expect Arteta to fail.